She sees something down there.
I heard it. Did you hear it?
No.
I heard it.
She's shaking with excitement.
It's right there, Daddy. Do something. So it doesn't look quite as bad as it was, but you can still see that we have some slugs, well, we're pretty sure slugs are nibbling on our black-eyed Susans. They're nibbling on our echinacea. They're also nibbling on my zinnias. So, and possibly also our potatoes. So we're gonna be setting a trap for them today. Only the cheapest beer for the slugs.
So the weather has been unseasonably cool this spring, which has caused the tomatoes to take a little bit more time. So we're finally getting out here today. It's getting towards the middle part of May, and we will be trellising up the tomato plants. One thing that we'll also be doing is pruning any of the suckers on the plants and the lower leaves, as that will just help enable the plant to stay a little bit healthier, especially from soil-borne diseases. So with this particular plant, what we would do is look for suckers. Suckers grow in between where the leaf of the plant is and your primary stem. And to remove those, you can use the pruners, but when they're this small, you can just pinch them off as well. The reason we do this is it makes it a little bit easier to trellis the plants up, while at the same time enabling the plant to channel its energy to a more concentrated form of the fruit. With this plant, we'll also remove the lower leaves of the plant, as those are the ones that will have a tendency to have soil splashed up on them, which creates potential contamination of soil-borne diseases in particular. So these particular tomato plants are called determinate tomato plants. They only grow to be about 4 feet tall, as they almost have like a predetermined height. We also grow indeterminate varieties, which continue to grow longer all season long. One thing that is nice about the determinate varieties is they also have a tendency to set all their fruit at one time. So if you're wanting to can tomatoes, this is a great variety to choose for that. It's also easier to prune because you won't have quite as many suckers. You still need to be on the lookout for those, but they are usually a little bit easier to maintain as well. So when pruning tomatoes, it's a good idea, especially if you happen to see something wrong with one of the leaves, to wash all of your equipment, and sometimes in between crops, especially if you have a blight going through. And then also washing your hands. Both of these are potential sources of contamination, so making sure you keep that blade clear. What you can also do is just have some hydrogen peroxide nearby, where between each plant you just dip the blade into that, and that'll help prevent any blight from transferring from one crop to another. So we're reusing some of these. Growing Green Family Farms purchased a bunch of these, and these are extras, so we're going to use some of these that have reusable twine for trellising up our tomatoes. Gotta be efficient.
Just packing. Loaded.
That's why I wear these pants. I have a pocket in every different compartment.
I got a couple more if you want to add them in.
Oh, no. I think this is plenty.
Okay.
Why not?
Got an empty pocket. There you go.
Well, actually, that's the one that has the clips for the tomatoes. There we go. So with these bobbins here, we have plenty of twine already twisted on there. Drop enough twine to just about touch the ground, and then hook that on whatever support bracket you have. Then what I like to do is go ahead and grab your clip, or some people just twist the twine around the tomato plant. I like the clips a little bit better. They're both reusable, but then also you don't have to worry about it cutting off the circulation of the tomato plant as much. Pull that a little bit tight with the clips. There's a little pincher at the back where the string clips in. Then all you have to do is clip that around the plant, and that will hold it up. If you have any more slack in the line, tighten it up top. For you want that relatively tight. Not tight enough where it starts pulling on it, but just enough so that it provides support for the tomato. So when you're doing the string with the clip method, usually you only need 3 or 4 clips per plant. So as the plant continues to grow up, you just keep on clipping it next to the string, so that the string is providing the support, similar to a tomato cage, and just keeping it centralized. And then whatever you have that hook at the top attached to is what ends up supporting that weight. The reason you only need 3 or 4 is as that plant continues to grow up, the stem down below will not need that support anymore. Especially once the plant grows up, once it gets to a certain height, we'll actually start laying the stem down on the ground, stripping off the bottom growth, and keeping that growth tip at whatever height we want to predetermine. This does a couple of things. It continues to channel the energy from the plant rather than going into the old growth of foliage into new growth, which that is where your fruit is going to be setting. So this works especially well if you have cherry tomatoes or indeterminate varieties of beefsteaks that continue to produce all season long.
We've got our first slug already partaking right there. Hopefully we'll vanquish the foes this season.
Time for Daddy Snuggles. Daddy Snuggles. Yeah. I love you. Oh.